Fettuccine Alfredo is my favorite pasta, that's how it goes. Fettuccine Alfredo makes me wanna crawl in through your window. We are the Fettuccine Alfredos.
Wow, that's really good, man.
Thank you.
Hello and welcome back to the AlfredoCast. We are the Alfrebros, and we are very excited because today we have Mr. Jerry Gustoso on the podcast. Now, this is a little different from what we're used to, but Mr. Gustoso is not a celebrity, he's actually a chef. He's worked as a chef at several restaurants across the world during his career, and we're really honored that he's agreed to come on the podcast. Thank you so much for being here, Jerry. Now, you're here promoting something, is that right?
Hi, yes, actually, and thank you, and congratulations on the #1 ranking of your show.
Thank you.
Gus's on Main, my restaurant, and the Salvation Army have created a COVID-19 response fund to ensure that food and basic necessities are available at food banks, shelters, and feeding programs for people who are really struggling right now during the COVID-19 crisis.
Wow, that's really honorable. So that's for like homeless people and people who don't have the same access to resources. Then you're helping those people out.
Yes, exactly, correct. There, we're helping out food banks, shelters, and things that go to feeding the ones that are struggling right now, the people who really need it.
Wow, that's truly amazing. And yeah, we will link down to the Salvation Army COVID-19 Response Fund below, and you can donate and help out this good cause. This really honorable. So let's kick off the first question. How often do you make fettuccine Alfredo in your restaurant? Because I imagine that it would be, being fettuccine Alfredo, I imagine it would be one of the most popular dishes, is it?
Fettuccine Alfredo is a popular dish indeed with the children that come to our restaurant. We put it on the kids menu. Our big sellers, of course, would be things like the pizza margherita or the steak fiorentina, polenta, ossobuco, risotto, things like that.
I'm sorry. So it's on the kids menu then? Well, I mean, of course it's on the kids menu, but it's on the the.
It's probably a smaller, serving size on the kids menu.
Yeah. It's on the adult menu though too, right? I mean, why?
Well, we reserve that for the children menu. That is basically where we get most of the requests. It's sort of like the macaroni and cheese at our restaurant compared to the other dishes that we serve. See, we are an award-winning restaurant, so we focus on the higher end dishes.
Okay.
But where is your restaurant again? Where is it located?
Well, it's down on Main Street in the Italian Quarter.
Wow, I expected better. RJ, you had a question, right?
Yeah. So, thank you again for coming on, Mr. Gustoso.
You're welcome.
My question for you, just for the viewers at home, how long I know there's a lot of controversy and debate around this, but from a professional chef's perspective, from your perspective, how long should we be heating up the water before we put the pasta in?
How long do you heat up the water? Well,
yes,
it's really quite simple. You boil the water and you add salt. So I guess it would depend on how much water you have in the pot.
Okay.
But typically, a normal size pot of water would take 7 to 8 minutes, and it would be at a full boil.
So what temperature would that be exactly? Just for our viewers at home.
Well, you would put it on high temperature, which would be roughly 100 degrees Celsius.
So wait, that's kind of curious that you say that. Actually, I personally don't cook pasta that way. That's kind of an unorthodox way to to cook it. I think RJ,
Unorthodox.
how do you cook pasta? Because the way I do it, I keep it on low, not high.
Yeah, I definitely have
And
never
it usually takes a few hours.
turned it all the way up, but
High seems a bit excessive, Jerry.
Who am I to say what temperature you put your water on? I've only won many awards for culinary arts. This is boiling water. It's quite simple, actually. You could probably Google it, and you will see that approximately 100% of the population will boil their water before they insert noodle.
okay, wait, hold on. You keep saying, what do you mean by boil the water? What do you mean by that?
Can you
What does
define
mean
that
exactly?
for us?
I find this quite hilarious, actually. I've never had to give an instruction on how to boil water before, aside from my 3-year-old.
Well, you were the one who said it. I was just
There's the word again, though.
okay.
But,
how would you
you know,
define? Like, how
in
do you
all
know when it
seriousness,
boils?
I will instruct you. So, boiling the water, that is when the water becomes bubbly and it's very, very hot.
And you say that's safe to consume?
Oh, he's talking about burning water. RJ, you know when people are around a campfire and they cook their marshmallows by like catching it on fire and then blowing it out? That's what he does, but for pasta.
Well,
Which is sort of a...
That doesn't sound like the best
well,
way
actually,
to cook fettuccine alfredo, but if you
well,
say so.
actually, water will not burn, so you will be quite safe there. What will happen is it will evaporate
Okay.
rather than burn. So now this is just me, and I have,
So it's your opinion.
well, I mean, I have won many awards. I've actually cooked for many famous people. I am
Sure.
considered an expert in my field. So boiling water is sort of...
Well, we are the #1 fettuccine alfredo podcast in the world.
RJ, it's okay.
That is quite the accomplishment, actually. I
Yes, it is.
didn't realize that there was any others, but
We did not mean to insult your credentials. Obviously, he's a world-renowned chef. He knows more than we do. But it's just like, it's just shocking for me to hear because I think we just take different roads to get to the same Denny's, if you know what I'm saying.
That's one way to put it.
And let's move on. I think we've got our answer. It's subjective.
okay. I just think that I'm here. Okay, and I've been quite patient, actually. So far, we've only accomplished, nothing. I've tried to introduce my charity, and I appreciate you allowing me to do that, but we're talking about boiling water here. What are you, a couple of cogliones or something like that? Are you
let's
trying
move on.
to mock me?
Let's move. No.
Are
Jerry. No. Let's move on. I've got some more questions, a bit more complex than just the water, the boiling. Let's move on in the process. We did not at all mean to offend.
I mean, come on, people here.
Let's move on.
This is fettuccine Alfredo we're talking about here. This it's not really a fabulous dish. It's full of fattening foods, loaded with dairy, and it gives me
okay, hold on.
It's okay, RJ.
Well, I have to go to a toilet after I eat it, to be quite honest with you.
That's how food works.
Was Elliot
let's
Gould
move
put it,
on.
the Oscar-nominated actor,
RJ, it's
going
okay.
to the toilet
It's okay.
with fettuccine
RJ,
alfredo
it's fine.
is a
Let's
pleasure
move on. I
and
have
a
other
miracle.
questions to ask. I have other questions. It's okay.
So-
Hold on. Just let me 1 second. It's okay, everyone. I apologize. We are not mocking you. I did not intend to offend you. I have other questions, more complex,
Going to the
more.
toilet with fettuccine Alfredo is a great thing because then I can get it the hell out of my body.
Okay, that's uncalled for. I think let's just move on. I might cut a
That's-
little bit of what just happened. Let's move on. I have another question. I have another question about the Alfredo sauce.
I have baked lasagna for the Princess of Liechtenstein.
I have another question about.
And you two, cogliones, are
That-
talking about fettuccine Alfredo.
It's a great dish. It's not. Let's move on. So after
made
you cook the
risotto
fettuccine
for the
and you
governor
pull it
of
out of the
Delaware.
pot and like you take the clumps in the bowl, like once you're done cooking the pasta, you got to make the Alfredo sauce, right? That's the second part of the name. I personally, when I make Alfredo for my fettuccine Alfredo, I put the pasta in the bowl, and I put the milk in the bowl, and I stir it and I spice it. But once again, you might have another sort of way of cooking it, because I've heard that people use butter sometimes and use other ingredients. What do you use for your Alfredo sauce? Again, for the listeners, because I just use milk.
Milk is not even in the recipe at Gus's on Main.
I'm sorry.
Butter, cream cheese, Parmigiano. Those are ingredients that you can put into a good fettuccine Alfredo. Milk is a drink that you drink. You do not put it into the pasta itself.
A lot of people say that
Now,
it adds flavor and texture. And quite honestly, I'm sorry, Jerry, but after making fettuccine Alfredo for the past, I don't know, moment of time, milk has produced the best results for me. And we have a course, and it's not out yet, but it will be soon. And people seem to really like milk.
People do like milk. It has been a popular drink for years and years.
Yeah, but it also goes really well in fettuccine Alfredo.
Well, no, I would tend to use heavy
have our
cream.
own way of cooking it, and that's
okay.
That's okay. If we each
preferred method.
It's good.
You can use whatever you like according to you. Milk works just fine, and I would think that you should be able to still eat it through the hockey mask that you're wearing.
Listen, I think we can all. I think that we can all agree that it is all right, no matter which way you cook the pasta, or no matter how you make the sauce. I think it's okay. It's all right, no matter what you do. I feel like we should be inclusive here and consider the people who are making it, all sorts of different ways. And that's the beautiful thing about fettuccine Alfredo, right? Is the fact that you can make it any way you want, and it's still delicious. That's why it's such a special dish, and that's why it's sort of at the heart of American and Italian and Canadian and Mexican and the Spanish cultures, is the fact that, you can make it however you want. Each recipe is different and beautiful, and that's okay.
What the fuck even is Gus's on Main?
RJ.
No, seriously. Have you? I've never fucking heard of Gus's on Main.
RJ, please don't do this, please.
No, I'm being.
RJ, I'm so sorry, Jerry. I'm so sorry. RJ, I'm
sure
going to cut this out.
that,
RJ, this is our guest.
Heard of it because you have obviously never been to a fine dining restaurant. And no, let me tell you this. Fettuccine is not open to other types of recipes. There is
That's bullshit.
very few
That's bullshit.
Altered versions of making fettuccine Alfredo.
That's bullshit.
RJ.
You know what, Jerry? I think you're bullshit.
No,
I think
RJ,
you're
please.
bullshit, Jerry.
It's okay.
Bullshit
Guys, let's not.
Where are your credentials?
What's coming out of your
Can
mouth?
we all just agree that we cook it different ways?
I
can't
not
handle this,
mention
okay?
that
I've
Martha
had 3
Stewart-
guests drop out in the last week. I can't do this right now. I need this episode to do well. RJ, I'm gonna cut this out. Please, dear God, he's our guest. I know he's being disrespectful to us, but no, it's okay. It's fine. If we get 20 minutes of a fucking episode, RJ, then we will be all right. It's 20 minutes. It's fine. It's fine. He's a chef. He's at restaurants. He knows what he's talking about.
You know what, Octavian? You
RJ?
just do the rest of it.
you would like
we're
to
doing the
come
game.
down.
We are doing the game. RJ, do the game.
Yeah, Octavian, why don't you
RJ,
not talk?
you have a
RJ
game.
obviously,
I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. RJ has a game prepared actually, which is really interesting. RJ, can you tell us about that a little bit?
Oh, let's play a game.
Sure. Let's play a game. So this game that we have prepared for you, Jerry, is called Would You Alfredo? Now, someone of your type, I don't know if you know how this game works exactly, but Octavian, why don't you explain what it's akin to?
Oh, explain away.
Okay, sorry. So, our game today is Would You Alfredo? So, this is really exciting because it's actually just like the game Would You Rather, but with a little twist. It's about fettuccine Alfredo, so we call it Would You Alfredo. If you've played Would You Rather before, the way it works is that we present you with 2 options of a thing, and you, Jerry, will get to tell us, which one you would prefer, which one you would rather, I should say. And then you can explain why. And then, and each question, though, is going to be about fettuccine Alfredo. RJ, take it away with the questions you've prepared.
Okay. Would you Alfredo fettuccine or Alfredo?
Ooh, I like that one.
I'm sorry. Could you please repeat the question? I don't quite
It's
understand.
not rocket science, Jerry.
RJ,
It's
RJ, repeat
would
the
you
question.
Alfredo, fettuccine, or Alfredo? Do you want me to repeat the question again?
Well, I haven't played Would You Rather because I am not 12 years old.
You must have very intelligent 12-year-olds in your restaurant, Jerry, because they eat fettuccine Alfredo. They're the only one with some common sense, as
RJ, please
is
don't do this.
made evident.
Please
Should we
don't
go
do
to?
this me.
Let's go to the
I
next.
did not come on this
Let's
show
do the next question.
to be
That was bad. That was a bad question. Let's do the next.
crucified by RJ, and I don't even know who you are. Maybe you should show me your credentials. Would I rather fettuccine Alfredo?
Would you rather
would I
fettuccine or Alfredo?
Fettuccine.
Would you rather Would you Alfredo fettuccine or Alfredo?
Oh, I
It's a-
totally
it's a-
understand now. Thank you for
fettuccine-
clarifying
Guys,
that.
let's not.
RJ, I think I would rather fettuccine Alfredo, but not
Let's
the
move
way
on. Let's
you
do the
make
second.
it.
RJ, you got plenty of.
And how about I ask you a question, RJ? What are you so
No, please do.
fettuccine Alfredo?
Haha, that was a
Hmm?
joke. Let's move on to the next. RJ, you've prepared a lot of questions, which is, you're very well prepared. Let's do another one. Obviously, that one didn't hit.
Oh, I'm laughing.
Question 2.
This is hilarious.
Would you Alfredo eat fettuccine Alfredo for breakfast or for dinner?
Would I rather eat
Would you Alfredo?
fettuccine?
Eat fettuccine Alfredo for breakfast or for dinner?
Let me get this straight. Would I Alfredo? Fettuccine Alfredo?
Would you Alfredo? Would you
Would you Alfredo?
Would you Alfredo
I
eat
might-
fettuccine Alfredo
it's-
for
Do you
breakfast or
prefer
for
eating
it's a
fettuccine
simple
Alfredo
question.
for like
Breakfast
at first thing in the
or
day
dinner?
or last
What about
thing?
lunch?
It's just like for breakfast or dinner.
I don't eat breakfast. Typically, I eat lunch. So I would say that
It shows. It shows.
perhaps if I was to eat the vile fettuccine
Okay, that's
Alfredo, it would have to be cooked
that's
by
not
myself
appropriate.
and definitely not
not a-
you. And I would probably eat it for dinner rather than breakfast because nobody eats fettuccine Alfredo, whether it's cooked by you or myself, an award-winning chef, for breakfast. So I
Again,
hope that
I feel like this episode has been really great because it sort of revealed the fact that we each have our own ways of making and eating fettuccine Alfredo. It's such a versatile.
no, we don't.
Yeah,
No, we really don't.
it's such a
I
versatile
think that you
dish.
have a podcast labeled, I don't know even what this bloody podcast is called. I think my career is taking a nosedive really, really quickly here.
It wasn't that high up
And,
to begin with, Jerry. I don't mean to disappoint you, but if anything, this is
RJ,
going to be the biggest thing you ever
I can't do
do.
this. I can't do this again.
Biggest thing I ever do would be to kick you out of my restaurant.
Like I would go
You
in.
couldn't afford it.
Let's move on to the third question, guys. Let's do the third. The third. Would you Alfredo come back on the? Sorry, one.
So
two,
the Salvation
three,
Army
four.
and Gus's on
Would you
Main is has a charity right now to help the people in need for COVID-19. That's what I'm here to talk about.
And we
not
talked about
you
that.
idiots talking about
That's
fettuccine
disrespectful.
Alfredo.
That's disrespectful, Jerry. Mr. Gustoso. I'm so sorry. That's
Thank you.
not. I don't mean. I did not intend to make you upset. This is just supposed to be fun. It's supposed to be us talking about things that we love, and it's just.
Enlighten me with something other than fettuccine Alfredo.
That's what the podcast. That's what the podcast is about. So I don't know if we can do that, but RJ, you have another question. You have a third.
Would you,
question.
Alfredo, come back
my
on this
God.
podcast for another episode, like we would have you on, or eat fettuccine Alfredo? You have
We
3
would
seconds.
have you
Jerry.
on. We would love to have you back.
You have
Mr.
3
Gustoso.
seconds.
Well,
This
that's
would
a
be-
good
this is lovely-
segue into me not being here with you bozos.
Excuse me? No,
the
RJ,
f-
is he on
are
the
you?
call still?
Hold on. What's
no, please,
Jerry
please.
Gustoso?
RJ,
That even is
RJ,
your real
RJ,
name,
please.
Jerry
Stop that I
Gustoso.
have.
Nothing comes.
Please,
Yeah.
I
What
just- I need
awards,
this-
Jerry?
Mr. Gustoso, are you still on the line? I need this
Jerry
episode to go well.
Gustoso,
I really
sex
do. I
offender in
need it.
Florida. Is that
Mr.
you?
Gustoso.
Oh yeah,
no,
that
hi.
I wouldn't
I think
doubt
he
it.
left. I think he left.
Fuck this.
No, it's okay. We can still, we could talk for a little bit, and we could sort of make the episode go. RJ, is that Hold on, I think I'm having a little technical difficulty. One, two, three, four. Thanks for listening to the AlfredoCast. This this was a fun experience. It was great talking to a real chef about how they cook fettuccine alfredo. If you want, you can follow us on Instagram at AlfredoCastOfficial. Or you can subscribe to us on YouTube. Our YouTube channel is called The AlfredoCast. Thank you so much for listening. And we will see you next time with another guest.